Hosts Nick Sainert.
I want to know what it's like to commit a crime without having to spend time in jail.
And Enrique Alvarez Clary.
C is for chunk.
Brought to you by Empire Fence and Netting on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome in. Happy Friday. We have made it to the end of the week.
Woohoo!
We've made it. After a tumultuous, insanely long, and roller coaster of emotions of a week.
This has been the longest week of my life.
We've made it. Here we are.
Did you know that Nebraska beat Iowa a week ago today?
I do, because I was driving home from Lincoln Southwest High School, where I had the first high school basketball game of the season last night between Elkhorn South and Lincoln Southwest.
Where's your fourth quarter?
You heard it?
I did. I heard that there was a 3 taken at the end of the game that probably shouldn't have been taken.
Probably shouldn't have been taken. But you know what? They made it, and
I guess
there we are.
I heard you say I could just feel you said something about the coach not being very happy about the 3, and I could feel the stare.
He looked over at the Elkhorn South bench and just like put up his hand and like, I'm sorry. Like, I didn't mean that.
I could just feel the anger from the coach through the radio.
It was unfortunate.
Like, don't take that shot.
But
why are you taking that shot?
Don't do that. But anyway, I was driving home, like, kind of just reflecting on these last 6 days, and just, I mean, Friday, the high of finally beating Iowa, and it feeling like, I mean, I remember calling into the Husker After Party postgame show from literally the center of Kinnick Stadium on the Hawkeye.
Did you do
I
a
was
Russell
on
Wilson?
the logo. No, I was not. But I was on the logo after watching Nebraska celebrate in one of the corners. And I remember telling Bach, like, it feels liberating. Like we liberated from a country.
Exercise the demons.
Here we are. So it was an exorcism. So you had that, and then not even 24 hours later, we were right here in this studio breaking down Matt Rule coming to Nebraska. And
I was getting ready to leave Lincoln.
Yeah.
I had to turn around. Come right back.
Just a crazy couple of days. But appreciate you guys hanging on with us throughout the entirety of it. 402-464-5685, the Honda of Lincoln hotline. The Starter Heyman text line, both those open for you guys the entire show today. Plenty of stuff to get to, full show. There's some college football news regarding bowl games and who certain committees of bowl games want to take. And it's becoming this pick and choose type of thing. And so I want to talk about that. Definitely want to get to the Husker volleyball game last night, where Rico was at. I didn't get to watch it. So Rico, I want Rico to fill us in. I got to see the box score. But I was living vicariously through Rico's Twitter last night in the gym. And then at 1:30, we'll have our Friday guest as usual, Zack Carpenter of Inside Nebraska. Kind of talk recruiting, talk just the process of adapting to a new head coach, what he has to do, what Matt Rule has been up to. They've been making their rounds around local high schools. Matt Rule visited Lincoln East. You had multiple coaches visiting the metro area, those high schools, Omaha West Side, Bellevue West, Creighton Prep, Elkhorn South, and Gretna were the schools. Matt Rule visited Lincoln High, Lincoln East. I'm sure he's making his rounds because right now at this moment, Rico, I mean, there's not a whole lot of 2023 targets, and there's not even, I mean, as of right now in the city of Lincoln specifically, not a whole lot of 2024 targets. Mm-hmm. But when you look at maybe what this staff is doing and what they need to do, this is the right thing to do. Get into those rooms, get into those conversations, and start to have a relationship with the local coaches in Lincoln and Omaha, because it's the same thing as what I kind of talked about Brian Applewhite doing earlier this season with Lincoln Northeast. Is he was talking to coaches from Lincoln Northeast during pregame, not because Lincoln Northeast has guys that they were targeting, but because you don't know what they're going to have 3, 4, 5 years down the road. Mm-hmm. And Matt Rule is somebody that just signed an 8-year contract. He's expecting to be here.
He'll be here down the road.
At least he had agreed to be in here for the long haul
His
for a while.
His contract says he'll be here down the road. And fostering those relationships, not only with the coaches, but with some of those players, because you never know, a player right now as a freshman or a sophomore, hell, even as a junior, you never know what'll happen over the summer or during the school year where, maybe they hit some kind of growth spurt or something finally clicks for them, and then they have some breakout season, and you weren't talking to them, you didn't have this relationship with them until they were finally good. And what's that say about you? I mean, you're the in-state school, you couldn't talk to anybody like that. So Matt Rule and the coaching staff going around and fostering these relationships, talking to some of the current commits, some of the possible decommits, and seeing, what they can do if they fit the system, if they can, get them back on board or keep them on board. It's something really refreshing to see. And, they're going to do it right now in the Lincoln and the metro area. I'm sure they'll hit around the state of Nebraska at some point, and then more than likely early next week or sometime this weekend, you're going to see a lot of, planes taken off with some coaches on them going around the rest of the country, talking to, again, current commits, maybe decommits, and trying to see exactly what's going on. I'm sure they've had the phone conversations with them already, and they just have to get into these rooms and start talking to coaches and kids and parents and figuring out exactly what they have to do to get the commitment.
That's your phone?
I don't know. Was it?
Yeah, it was right here.
Oh, I forgot about that. I was like, what was that noise? Where was I going? They have to talk to people and build relationships all throughout the country.
You want to avoid, I mean, let's be real. Nebraska, 3 years from now, you want to avoid a Zane Flores type of situation.
Yes.
In 100% honesty and putting it as bluntly and as lightly and simply as that as possible. You want to avoid a Zane Flores situation where you sit here his senior year towards the end of his recruiting process and have that moment or that feeling of, oh crap, we should have put in effort when he was a sophomore. When everybody else was, we should have put in effort. You don't want that feeling hanging over your head and over your program in the next couple of years. So
because it's not,
Matt Rule talked about that 500-mile radius on Monday. That was one of the first things he mentioned. So he mentioned that, and then when it came to recruiting that 500-mile radius, he said something along the lines of how mind-boggling and how just insane it is to him that guys are leaving that area, this area around this school, and going to an FCS school or going to a Memphis or a Northern Illinois or somewhere else, a group of 5 school or below, and excelling when they could excel at the Power 5 level with the right development and the right kind of care and attention.
The really talented guys shouldn't be going to lower level schools and avoiding Nebraska. That's something that he's really critical on. And I mean, they're kind of drawing some weird shape, square, rectangle type thing, going from Texas to Florida to New Jersey and back to Nebraska, and just covering that whole area with their recruiting knowledge and hitting those states in that area and trying to, hit that hard and get the more talented kids out of those, or not even the more talented kids, just the kids that fit their strategy, the skill set that they want. Because right now, as we talked to Brian Munson in the water cooler a couple of minutes ago, it looks like they're going after speed. A lot of the early offers that they've been sending out are guys that have a lot of speed, something you can't coach. You can't coach speed, but these guys that they're going after have a ton of speed, and then, you coach them up from there. And it seems as if that's going to be a big point of emphasis on their offense and defensive recruiting.
Now, since we are talking recruiting, we'll also get into this in about 15 minutes with Zach of Inside Nebraska. But it is important for us to make sure folks know. So a little bit of breaking news right before we went on the air, in between the crossover between the water cooler and the happy hour. Omarion Miller, a 4-star wide receiver, has decommitted. Thanks to Tyler for sending it in to make sure we knew. Omarion Miller has decommitted from the Huskers. So in the last 24 hours, Nebraska has lost two of their two highest recruits, Malachi Coleman and Omarion Miller. Miller, a 6'2", 296-pound wide receiver from Vivian, Louisiana. He had been committed to the Huskers since, I believe, July, if I remember correctly. So Omarion Miller decommitted from Nebraska. I mean, he was a guy that the previous staff was in on during their time at LSU. They've been in on Miller for quite a while, and now he decommits from Nebraska. So the class is going to take a hit. It's going to take a hit.
It happens. Look, you got a new. I said it on the water cooler. You had, the previous permanent head coach lost his job. You saw a little bit of a shakeup. Some people decommitting. Your defense coordinator got fired. Again, you saw a shakeup. You saw some decommitting. You had that interim coach that was building the relationships with all the recruits. He was told to coach as if he was the head coach. That's what he was doing. He was recruiting as if he was the head coach. He said it multiple times. We're going to leave this place better than how we inherited it, better than what we found it. And then at the end of the season, after a massive win, he ends up not getting the job. So you're going to see some people who had relationships with the previous permanent head coach, who had relationships with the interim coach. Maybe they had relationships with both of them that just don't know exactly what to do with this new coaching staff.
Mm-hmm.
And again, decommitting doesn't necessarily mean that they're done, that you can't, convince them to recommit. As entering the transfer portal doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to leave. It's just, opening up the options and seeing what's out there and being re-recruited by this new coaching staff. And a lot of people like that. A lot of people like the feeling of being wanted by somebody else. So, they're going to go through this whole process again. And if the current coaching staff wants them, I'm sure they'll make their intentions known. And if they don't, then these kids will move on and hopefully to bigger and better things.
So once again, Omarion Miller decommits from Nebraska, a 6'2", 196-pound wide receiver.
Okay,
did I say
296? I thought you said 6 foot, 296 pound.
Maybe I just didn't put the pause in there like I needed to. 6'2", 196 pound.
Okay.
So maybe I just said it too fast.
I was like,
maybe I just said it too quickly.
That is a thick receiver.
Yeah, and they want speed.
That is a big boy.
That would not fit.
If he's 6 foot 296 and he's got speed,
6 feet tall. Woo! Coming in 6 feet tall, 296 pounds.
Omarion Miller.
Man, okay. Anyway, exactly. Yeah, that's up there somewhere. It's there it is. There it is. That's like one of the guys that you recreate in your Road to Glory.
Oh, 100%. That's
the short legs are just running down the field.
That's a tight end.
You can't see though because their torso is so wide. You can't see their legs running.
I made a quarterback that was as tall as you could go and as big as you could go and just running through folks.
That is a Road to Glory character if I've ever heard the measurables for. All right,
6 foot 296.
So once again, moving on. We'll talk to Zack Carpenter here in a couple minutes. Also in the crossover between with Strick and Nate like we do every day. Since it is a Friday, we got picks coming up, and there's some exciting ones. Obviously, we'll pick all of the conference championship games, and then we will also pick World Cup. I love it because we're gonna do something different. And
I don't lose if we do World Cup.
I put a little bit of spin on it for how we pick World Cup. So because you can't really do spreads, unfortunately.
No.
So, all right,
3 goals.
Yeah. So let's move on to Husker Volleyball real quickly before we jump back into volleyball with Zach. Here in about 10 minutes or so. Okay, so Lindsey Krause, just kind of brief overview from my point of view as somebody that was unable to watch the game live. Lindsey Krause leads the way with 10 kills.
Mm-hmm.
Nebraska sweeps Delaware State. Batenhorst adds 8.
Mm-hmm.
Caitlin Horde has a team high 9 blocks. But here's the deal. Now tell me if the stat sheet was wrong, Rico. I looked up at the box score, and it said Nebraska had a team of 15 blocks, while Delaware State had 0. Not a single block. Now, we talked about the height difference, the height differential.
It came into play.
Okay, so tell us about it because you were there.
It came into play. So, as you said, Lindsey Krause had 10 blocks. She came alive in the third set and just started going off. I think she had 3 kills going into that set, and then they just kept feeding her. As the game started, it looked as if they were going to Batenhorst early. I believe she had somewhere in the neighborhood of 16 swings at the end of the first set. So they were going to her early. John Cook mentioned, as you just said, 15 blocks to 0. John Cook mentioned early that they had to get used to the speed at which Delaware State was playing, but the height differential, they're used to playing taller teams. So they had to change their block from kind of going straight up and down to kind of reaching over the net to just send it back down, which is something that they were doing because Delaware State was a shorter team. They were able to do that on them. So they weren't really worried about getting tooled off the block. So they were sending these shots straight down. Delaware State was doing their best to stick with the outside hitters in the middles for Nebraska, but the height differential and the ability to get up as high as they were just kind of put it away for Delaware State. They weren't able to do much against that, but the speed at which they were moving, even off the serve, I think Nebraska had 5 or 6 service aces, but when Delaware State was receiving them and getting into their system, they were moving quickly. Nebraska, again, they finished with 15 blocks, but there were a couple times where the block was late getting there. But luckily, Lexi Rodriguez is in the back there, and you don't really have to worry about anything hitting the ground on her. I think she had 19 digs. She had 16 at the end of the second set. But then, Nebraska's block came into play. It was all match, but came into play in the third set, and Delaware State kind of fell apart. So there weren't really many opportunities for her to get any more digs after that second set. So she ended up with 19. She had, again, 16 going into the third set. it was kind of just total domination by Nebraska after the first set. Again, these teams were 1 and 2 in opponent hitting percentage. So these were two of the best defensive teams in the nation. And it kind of looked like it was going to be a defensive battle about halfway through the first set. And then Nebraska, I'm guessing, kind of realized who they were, stepped on the gas pedal and kind of took it to Delaware State.
Yeah, so I mean, and thanks. It's when they look forward now, Nebraska plays Kansas. They host Kansas tonight, 7 p.m. This one's on ESPN Plus.
First and second round are on ESPN Plus.
Then it's ESPNU, then it's ESPN, then ESPN2.
ESPN, then ESPN2.
Yep. Okay, perfect.
For some reason, the championship game's always on ESPN2. I don't know why.
Yeah, nobody knows why.
But Kansas rolled Miami. I was in attendance for that one as well.
And Miami was the national seed, right?
Miami was the 7th seed in the region. I don't know what their seeding was for the entire tournament. They were the 7th seed in this region. Kansas not seeded. And they swept them, just took it to them. I don't know exactly. I was up and down watching the game. I was kind of tuning into other things, and but it was just total domination by Kansas. Like, it would seem like it was close at one point, and then the next thing I know, I look up and the set's over, and Miami only had 17 points.
If I remember correctly, Kansas was a team that made a Final Four a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Because I remember Nebraska playing them, and Nebraska was able to beat them in the Final Four.
It was in Omaha.
Yeah, that's right. So here's the thing: Nebraska plays Kansas tonight, 7 p.m.
Former
ESPN
Husker
Plus.
Aneshka Zabo.
It's like SZABO.
Yes, I feel bad for not knowing how to pronounce it, but she plays for Kansas. She had a pretty good game for the Jayhawks against Miami. And again, for anybody that forgets, Nebraska and Kansas did play at an exhibition match in Grand Island before the season started. Nebraska won that in 4 sets, but although Kansas's team is largely the same, John Cook says they're pretty much the same. They do a couple of things different, but they're pretty much the same. Nebraska's team is different. Nebraska she had already announced that she was transferring, but she was playing in that game. Callie Schwarzenbach played in that game, started in the middle because they had lost Lauren Stivrins and they didn't have this was when they were trying to sort out the extra year of eligibility.
They didn't have Caitlin Horde yet.
No, they didn't have Caitlin Horde yet. They were trying to figure out the extra year of eligibility for. Why am I blanking on her name?
Kayla
Caffey. And also, I'm just forgetting everybody's name right now. She plays for Texas now. She's a defensive specialist. She had 7 aces yesterday for Texas, and I can't remember her name.
Oh, and why am I? This is bad.
I know, it's really bad. I'm supposed to be the volleyball guy here, and I can't remember her name.
I'm blanking on it too. I don't usually blank on this.
I know.
I don't usually. Here we can make this quick.
She's from Hawaii. She was committed to USC.
Her brother is a 4-star linebacker.
Decommitted from USC, committed to Nebraska.
Kayla
Akana.
Yes.
I feel terrible right now.
Thank you, Tyler. Thank you, Adon.
Goodness gracious.
Wow.
So she was playing. Kayla Caffey wasn't playing. Callie Schwarzenbach was playing. They didn't have Caitlin Horde. This Nebraska team, they had Kenzie Knuckles.
Yes.
This Nebraska team is completely different from the team that Kansas played in Grand Island before the season started.
So, okay, couple texts I want to get to right before we get to break here because we're right up against the clock. Bill and Bennett asked, do you think that, going back to football really quickly, do you think, so once again, 7 p.m. tonight, ESPN Plus for Nebraska, Kansas. Make sure you check out Rico. Okay, so do you think that decommits and guys entering the transfer portal are directly related to Mickey Joseph's situation? I think it's important to note, I think that the decommits and the guys entering the transfer portal and the fluidity throughout the program is just due to everything going on. I think there's just a lot of uncertainty right now for a lot of the players. I think for a lot of, the official staff hasn't even shaken out yet. I mean, we don't even know who Nebraska's quarterback's coach is going to be. We don't know who Nebraska's defensive coordinator is going to be, or the linebackers coach, or like there's a lot of things that have still yet to kind of work themselves out. And I think once again, throughout the transfer portal, this year is going to be bad. Like we thought last year's offseason of transfer portal was bad. This year is going to be, I think, just as bad, if not worse. And so I think there was like 20-some hundred, or excuse me, a little over 2,000 names in there last year. According to national writers, they feel like there's going to be 3,000 to 4,000 guys that enter the portal over the last couple years, or over this offseason, which if you break that down per roster, that's 1 out of every 3.
It's going to be a lot of people looking for homes.
Yeah, exactly. And there's not going to be enough room. So we're going to have this conversation throughout the entirety of the offseason. So just kind of buckle up and get ready for a lot of changes to come Nebraska's way, both good and bad, both in additions and attritions. I think as we go forward. Let's take a break. When we come back, we got Zack Carpenter, our good friend of Inside Nebraska, the rival site for the Huskers, break down Nebraska football, break down this last week, his thoughts, and let us know about a little bit about recruiting as we go forward. With the transfer portal opening up soon and the early signing day quickly approaching. We'll be right back on the Happy Hour.
Follow Nick and Enrique on Twitter at Nick_Sainert and at Radio Rico AC. More of Happy Hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
At Venue Catering and Events, we offer two of the most historic ballrooms in Lincoln. The Jasmine Room, located in the historic Grand Manse in the heart of downtown, featuring a beautiful built-in antique bar, spacious patio, and soaring skylit ceilings. The Scottish Rite Ballroom, located just 2 blocks from the state's capital, boasts intricate hand-carved columns, rich dark wood floors, and lavish chandeliers. The perfect venues to host your wedding, corporate event, or much more. For availability and more information, call us at 402-603-6483.
Hey guys, this is Lindsay Teal from Nebraska Golf Team. Imagine golfing the best courses in the world. St. Andrews, Pebble Beach, Southern Hills, the best of the best. You can play those courses and more without ever leaving the city of Lincoln at Double Eagle Golf. Double Eagle has the city's best golf simulators, 5 high-quality bays that track ball speed, launch angle, club speed, spin rate, and more to give you the most accurate gameplay. Check it out for yourself year-round. Double Eagle Golf, just 5 minutes from downtown at the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street.
Hey, it's Nicklin Hames from Nebraska Volleyball. I hate wasting time in practice, and I want to help you stop wasting your time when you're looking for an electrician. High Electric has been serving the area for over 30 years for both residential and commercial properties. They are experts in everything like remodeling, new additions, hot tub installation, and more. And they take jobs from Beatrice to Omaha and all towns, big or small, in between. Call them today at 402-466-6606 or learn more at high-electric.com.
Your home should not be a zoo to unwelcomed animals. Let the experts at Bats to Rats take care of those problems. Dane has been a leader in wildlife and pest management and prevention in Lincoln and the surrounding area for 15 years. He can help you get rid of bats, rodents, and anything else. Whether it's residential or commercial buildings, schools, apartments, or churches, they're always a phone call away. Call today at 402-310-0904 or visit batsterats.com. Bats to Rats Wildlife Control and Prevention.
Are you looking for some holiday fun right in the heart of downtown Lincoln? Bring your friends and family to Lincoln's largest drive-through Christmas lights experience. This show features countless high-quality lights in vibrant colors, holiday props, and favorite characters of the season, all synchronized to music to enjoy in your car. Start a new holiday tradition this year and experience the magic of Nebraska Christmas Light Show at Haymarket Park from November 26th to January 3rd, 5 p.m. to midnight. Purchase tickets today at NebraskaChristmasLightShow.com.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Mike Schaefer here for Trek CBD. It's football season, and that means you're tailgating with friends, or if you're like me, yelling at the TV during Vikings games. Trek CBD has a variety of products that help calm me down during the games, so don't scare my dog. But in the rare cases that I yell too much, there's CBD products for him, too, and all other pets. Whether you're looking for drinkable Delta 8 seltzers, hemp-derived Delta 9 syrups for your beverages, or anything else, Trek CBD has it all at 84th and Aderman. Trek CBD, CBD done right.
The most innovative ag technology that exists today on display in one place at the Nebraska Ag Expo. Autonomous and robotic equipment, precision ag, commodity marketing gurus, and more. All in the brand new Innovation Hub at the Nebraska Ag Expo. Come check it out December 6th, 7th, and 8th at the Lancaster Event Center in Lincoln. Register online at NebraskaAgExpo.com to get your tickets in advance and save $5. The Nebraska Ag Expo is sponsored by Farm Credit Services of America and Ag Direct.
Hey, it's Sean Callahan, and football season is here, and there is one place that has all the games, plus great food and beer specials. Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill. Whether it's Thursday night football, college football Saturdays, NFL Sundays, or Monday night football, There's a great view of the game from any seat with different food and drink specials every night. Try the Blue Ribbon Reuben Sandwich or the Prime Rib French Dip or any of their famous chicken wings. That's Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill.
Now back to the happy hour with Nick Sainert and Enrique Alvarez Clary on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back into the happy hour, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick and Rico hanging out with you guys as usual. 402-464-5685, the Honda of Lincoln hotline, the Starter Heyman text line. Both those open for you guys, as well as the Starter Heyman Jewelers video stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. All those places, you guys know how to incorporate your thoughts into the show. Love to hear from you guys the entire day. Let's go ahead and head to the Honda of Lincoln hotline where we're joined by...
Say the words.
Shout out to industry, baby.
Forever and always.
There it is. I didn't know what you were saying, Rico.
You got to say the words.
I didn't know what you were saying.
It's necessary.
Anyway, let's go to the Honda of Lincoln hotline where we're joined by our good friend, Zack Carpenter of Inside Nebraska, the rival site that covers the Huskers. Zack, what's up, man? How's this last 7 days been since I saw you last time in Iowa City?
Pretty hectic. I think it's been... I've been here 6 months now, as of yesterday, officially on this beat, and just thinking about all of the drama. Obviously the seriousness of the situation this week, and then the sometimes fun, sometimes exhausting drama of the coaching search, the Ireland trip, and all that was just. And there's plenty more. It's just been wild that it's only been 6 months and there's more drama packed. There's like 5 times more drama packed into this 6 months than there was the 3 years I was on the Ohio State beat. So it's been a wacky one.
Yeah. Happy half-anniversary and welcome to Nebraska.
Oh, thank you. What'd you get me?
I got you a radio interview
and a new coach.
Yeah, that's the best thing you could have gotten me after the last 2.5 months.
Well, okay, so Zack Carpenter joining us here on the happy hour. Okay, so Nebraska in the last 48 hours has lost Malachi Coleman and Omarion Miller now. Is it Omarion or Omarion? Which one are we going with?
It's Omarion.
Okay, so Omarion Miller.
95% sure.
That's
like
fine.
the singer.
I've heard it both ways. So Nebraska's lost Malachi and Omarion Miller to their class in the last 2 days. How big of losses are those? But also on top of that, like this is something that we're expecting to have happen, and they're probably not done yet, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's not totally unforeseen at all, especially Malachi. Well, I shouldn't say that. With both of them, it's not unforeseen, but with Malachi, it's you can see it coming a little bit more clearly. He's been on record, and everyone who's followed his recruitment and his commitment knew that he was directly tied with Mickey Joseph, and Omarion too. I mean, he wouldn't have even taken a visit if it wasn't for Mickey Joseph. He was committed to LSU before, and took the visit directly because Mickey made the move to Nebraska, committed because of him. And Malachi is one of the, I mean, every recruit talks about I'm a relationships guy, but Mickey and Malachi, that recruitment was tied in to an assistant coach more than I've ever seen, which makes the situation for Malachi and his family just that much harder. But one thing that this is the time of year when assistant coaches leave for other jobs, or different in this case, but the phrase that you keep hearing, which is one of my biggest pet peeves throughout my time covering recruiting, is, well, this is why you commit to a school and not a coach. It's like, yeah, it's easy to say that on the surface, but just think about the fact that the kid built up a father-son type of bond relationship with that coach for, in most cases, well over a year, sometimes two years, if not longer, in some cases. So that's easy to say on the surface, but when you get that close with a coach and form that type of bond, it is impossible to judge a recruit for making a different decision when that coach leaves.
Mm-hmm. So we're talking about the recruiting aspect of this and the high school ranks, but in order for Nebraska maybe to take a step forward and win a couple more games next year, you're going to be looking at the transfer portal, and that's something that Matt Rule and this staff might be taking a look into, and they've already sent a couple offers out to some guys who are transferring from their schools, but also they're losing a couple of guys, and 3 already that we know of, DeColdis Crawford, Brent Banks, and Ernest Hausman, who seems like a big one, and a lot of people that are worried about that. How hard is Nebraska going to be hitting the transfer portal, and how many more do you think we can expect to leave from this Husker team?
Well, we've got a good idea of at least a couple who we can sort of see the writing on the wall that we're prepared for, just in case. I'm not going to name the names, not to be that guy, but when it comes to guys who might transfer out, if they're not or whatever, if they're not already in the portal or anything, I just don't think that's fair.
No, I get that.
But yeah, and I mean, I imagine we'll have another group in totality transferring out, and then, I mean, that's how rosters are. I wouldn't say constructed, but I mean, what was it? 15 transfers to Nebraska last season. I think it was the second most or third most in the country. I know USC, I think, was ahead of them. Remember Arkansas, Ole Miss. But anyway, I would imagine that we'll see a group of transfers over the next 45-day window once it officially opens up nationwide on December 5th. Is that Monday? And what's interesting is that most of the coaches coming to Matt Rule staff, like the 6 official ones, they're all some of them are coming from the NFL in Carolina, but they still do. Most of them have that background in college. I mean, Satterfield's coming from South Carolina. I don't foresee a Lincoln Riley, Caleb Williams situation where Satterfield's going to bring a Spencer Rattler or another 5-star quarterback with him, but those coaches have connections from the recruiting trail, and they have connections in high schools and with the trainers and the handlers and what have you, that they'll be able to bring some guys in. I'm not sure of the main targets they'll be bringing in, but I mean, you can be sure that they're going to be bringing in a good group of them.
We're joined by Zack Carpenter of Inside Nebraska. Zack, so you talked about the guys that have already transferred out. Ernest Hausman, Brant Banks, and DeColdis Crawford all made their intentions known publicly yesterday. Okay, so I want to look specifically at Ernest Hausman, because how massive of a loss is the linebacker? I mean, you don't usually have true freshmen that are ready to compete day one in the Big Ten Conference on a Big Ten defense and record. I think he had 50+ tackles this season. They don't just grow on trees. So, I mean, how big of a loss is it that Ernest Hausman's leaving, especially when he's a guy from Columbus, Nebraska, and an hour and a half away from Lincoln? And I mean, is there a door open for him to possibly return?
Yeah, I don't think the door is completely shut on that. It is pretty surprising that in-state kid like that is just completed only his first season in college and had the role that he did, decides to enter the transfer portal, and doing so before new linebackers coach, new position coach is named. But at the same time, you do get a head start of getting your name out there, seeing what's out there, getting in contact with people and gauging interest to keep all your options open in case you don't vibe or connect with the new position coach, or if his scheme, just as importantly, isn't a fit for what you do and your skill set. But it's a massive, maybe not massive, maybe that's too hyperbolic, but it's a big loss. I mean, Ernest Hausman, I think, 6'2", I can't remember his exact measurables, had to look it up, but he seemed like that ideal linebacker for the future of what Nebraska's defense probably should be, and being able to stick his nose in a line of scrimmage and not afraid to get physical at the point of attack. And then also having that more sideline to sideline ability to have that speed and agility to keep up in the passing game on defense. I mean, he was flying all over the place against Michigan and Wisconsin, and then ultimately Iowa. And he came on. I've said for a while now that linebacker is one of the most difficult positions to transfer from high school to the college level and like have success right away.
Mm-hmm.
And you could see that early in the season, first half of the season. Ernest looked lost and just not ready for the college game yet. And then the last 6 games of the season, especially the last four games of the season and the last 2-3, he really came along. He was one of the most impressive players on the entire roster over the last stretch of the season. And I had him as the second most important player for the new coaching staff to try and retain behind Casey Thompson. So it's a big loss.
Wow, that's crazy. Last one before we let you go, Zach. We got about 2 or 3 minutes left in our segment here. I mean, just let our listeners know, as somebody that pays way more attention to recruiting on a daily basis than myself or Rico does, how insane is the transfer portal going to be this offseason? I mean, because now you have a full year of NIL being involved incorporated and active underneath the NCAA's belt or within collegiate athletics. How insane is the transfer portal going to be this offseason?
I mean, I think we're going to see it continue to be wild, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the numbers were, I think, I don't have these confirmed, but it was over 4,700 football players in the 1920 academic cycle transferred. 2020 and 21 was 6,200 plus, and then last year was 8,200 plus. So you see the numbers continue to climb up. I mean, is that just about 2,000 per year? I don't know what it's going to climb to or what it's going to be at this year, but this is the world we're living in now. It's the transfer portals world, and we're just living in it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're going to see a lot of movement. We're going to see stars like the Jordan Addison situation, where NIL is a huge determining factor in roster construction and college football movement across the nation. So just buckle up and be prepared. I mean, it's if you thought the coaching search was wild, the transfer portal and the few weeks we have leading up to early signing period starts on December 21st. It's going to be just as hectic.
One word to describe your initial reaction when you saw Cade McNamara go to Iowa.
That's my one word.
I think that would.
That's a good word.
That's a good one. That's a good way to describe it. Who would have thought? Yeah, it's just crazy. I mean, and
right.
I was surprised at how quick Cade McNamara made a decision.
Yeah, I mean, you can't. The quarterback situation in Iowa, I guess, couldn't get much worse than it was last year.
That's true.
It's an upgrade from the start. So wonder if he already had that decision in mind. Perhaps one might think that, but I'm just speculating for entertainment.
Of course,
yeah.
Who would have thought?
It's almost as if there were conversations had or something. I don't know.
That doesn't happen. You guys know that. College football is a buttoned up, completely straight-laced business, and we all know that.
Organized and clean and neat. That's college football.
Briefcases and business suits.
All right, Zach,
Exactly.
appreciate the time as always, man. We will talk to you next Friday. I'm sure we'll have plenty to talk about as the transfer portal opens up on Monday, and we have you on the show on next Friday. We'll talk to you later.
Yep, buckled up for another big week. Appreciate you guys. I'll talk to you.
That is Zack Carpenter of Inside Nebraska. Should be a fun and exciting week on the horizon. So, Dusty, just to answer a question here really quickly before we get to the crotch over.
Whoa!
Oh, okay.
Wait a minute!
That's one I cannot even work through.
What is on your mind?
Nothing. It's just been, Rico, you know this. It's been a hell of a week. You know this, Rico. And now I just know the text line is going to. Well, Dusty's question. Man.
I don't even think you can go to that question.
Yeah, that was. Oh, we got to answer the question because I said we would. Do y'all think we ever see a cap on the amount of portal guys a school can take? It can help high school players and help guys to stick it out where they're at. Unfortunately, Dusty, I don't, because you don't want to keep guys at a school when they don't want to be there. So that's just simply put. All right, let's take a break.
Deep breaths.
All right, here we go. Let's
download our app by searching 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day long wherever you are. More of the happy hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and things are rocking in Louisville. We've got transport showing up every day with loads of new inventory, lots of new trucks, SUVs, and crossovers. Our pre-owned inventory is also filling up fast. Our GMC Terrain inventory is really filling up fast, so we're putting special pricing on those right now. This is the time to check out our GMC Terrains, as we've got all models with a great selection of colors at a discounted price. So please stop in or check them out online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did.
Mike Schaefer here for Trek CBD. It's football season, and that means you're tailgating with friends, or if you're like me, yelling at the TV during Vikings games. Trek CBD has a variety of products that help calm me down during the games, so don't scare my dog. But in the rare cases that I yell too much, there's CBD products for him, too, and all other pets. Whether you're looking for drinkable Delta 8 seltzers, hemp-derived Delta 9 syrups for your beverage, or anything else, Trek CBD has it all at 4th and Anderson. Trek CBD done right.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Very mild conditions here for our Friday as we'll top out at around 62. But eventually, behind a cold front this afternoon, temperatures will start to fall towards evening, and northwest winds could gust 40 to 45 as a wind advisory will be in effect this evening into tonight. A low 15 tonight with a high tomorrow of around 37. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey, it's Nicklin Hames from Nebraska Volleyball. I hate wasting time in practice, and I want to help you stop wasting your time when you're looking for an electrician. High Electric has been serving the area for over 30 years for both residential and commercial properties. They are experts in everything like remodeling, new additions, hot tub installation, and more. And they take jobs from Beatrice to Omaha and all towns, big or small, in between. Call them today at 402-466-6606 or learn more at high-electric.com.
Wow. Did you ever save me money on my car?
Yes, that's why our customers keep coming back.
How do you do it, friendly car dealer ?
We simply have low overhead and high trade-in values. The next line's yours.
Oh.
Ready for something better? Mullen Motors is a no-hassle, no-pressure dealership with financing available. Check out the inventory at MikeMullenMotors.com.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Riddles Jewelry is excited to showcase the scintillating Levion Jewelry Collection. Levion is known for their love of reinventing fine designer jewelry through unique combinations of chocolate diamonds, vibrant gemstones, and precious metals. Levion and Riddles Jewelry, two family-owned businesses who put customers at the heart of what they do. No one colors your world better than Levion, so visit Riddles Jewelry today and receive $100 off any Levion purchase now through Christmas.
At Riddles Jewelry, Gateway Mall. Your home should not be a zoo to unwelcomed animals. Let the experts at Bats to Rats take care of those problems. Dane has been a leader in wildlife and pest management and prevention in Lincoln and the surrounding area for 15 years. He can help you get rid of bats, rodents, and anything else. Whether it's residential or commercial buildings, schools, apartments, or churches, they're always a phone call away. Call today at 402-310-0904 or visit batstorats.com. Bats to Rats Wildlife Control and Prevention.
You finally finished your man cave in the basement. Brand new furniture, huge TV, and all of your collector's items. You're ready for football season. You are So excited. It's in bad rain, and it is all ruined. Don't risk a flooded basement and countless damages when it can be avoided. Call John Henry's today for a free sump pump estimate for your home.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
Hey guys, this is Lindsay Teal from Nebraska Golf Team. Imagine golfing the best courses in the world. St. Andrews, Pebble Beach, Southern Hills, the best of the best. You can play those courses and more without ever leaving the city of Lincoln at Double Eagle Golf. Double Eagle has the city's best golf simulators, 5 high-quality bays that track ball speed, launch angle, club speed, spin rate, and more to give you the most accurate gameplay. Check it out for yourself year-round. Double Eagle Golf, just 5 minutes from downtown at the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street.
I grew up hearing that women are bad with money. But like many of you, I spent years paying bills, managing checking accounts, and taking care of my family. So turns out women are pretty good with money after all. And now I'm taking control of my financial future by saving for retirement. It's never too late to start, and there's a great website to help you. Check out WeSaySaveIt.org and jumpstart your retirement savings on your budget and your timeline. That's WeSaySaveIt.org. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. You're listening to the Happy Hour with Nick Sainert and Enrique Alvarez Clary. Sponsored by Empire Fence and Netting on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back in. This is the crossover.
Oh.
The crotch over. Thank you, Nate. Just yelled it. Thank you. This is the crossover.
Sutter Heyman text line is hot on you right now.
It is. It
hot
is.
on your tail.
I mean, here's the deal. And I said this on Twitter. If that doesn't sum up what this week has done to me, I don't know what will.
Dude.
But here we are. So it's we first got to shout out Timmy Trumpet and Narcos.
Under Roos.
Here we go. Here it is. Listen to this. Happy Friday, everybody. We got Strick's phone going off here as well while we play Narco. We got the Apple iPhone default ringtone going. Okay. All right, gentlemen, we ready to do our picks here on the crossover? I'm watching myself so I am enunciating every single syllable. Okay, we ready for this?
Hold on.
We got a lot of games to pick.
Some of these will probably. Well, are you doing every single game?
We're doing
all the championship games, right?
Yeah,
Doing all the championship games.
Yeah. Not all of them. Like we're doing all the Power 5.
Okay. Well, you're gonna have to redo some of them, Strick.
All right.
You'll have to go more in depth. We still got Strick's picks.
That's fine. We're not trying to steal your thunder. But Strick is 14.
I know.
I need to get my record better.
Strick is 14 and 25. I mean,
Yeah.
let's be real.
Just be better.
He always takes favorites. Take all the underdogs. Strick, take all the underdogs.
Okay, let's get out of here. Okay, so we have first the World Cup.
Oh, God.
Yeah, buddy.
World Cup. Now, here's what we're going to do. It's after regulation. So after 90 minutes of play, what is the score? All right? You have 3 options. USA money line, Dutch Netherlands money line,
That
or
was
it's
Holland.
It's Netherlands.
It's the Netherlands.
Holland.
It's
Brazil,
Netherlands.
Cameroon?
It's the same thing.
Sure, why not?
Okay,
I don't
so why
care.
can't we call it the Netherlands?
They go by Holland when they're playing.
Well, it's the Netherlands. It's,
They're
if
the
you look,
Netherlands.
yeah,
They're the Dutch.
either way,
The Flying Dutchman, Robin
Sorry,
van
I
Persie.
follow soccer.
Robin van Persie.
Sorry, I follow soccer.
I don't think you do.
I don't think you do, and I don't either. Here we are.
Pulisic.
Pulisic is healthy.
Yes.
He's cleared to play.
It was not his
now,
crotch.
I will say this. He was not his crotch. Speaking of crotch. Now, here's also, I will add that the Netherlands manager or coach I read earlier today said that there's a flu outbreak throughout their team.
SpaghettiOs.
That's a good thing.
He doesn't expect it to hurt them too bad, But he said he's worried that if it spreads throughout the entire team, that they won't be able to field a team tomorrow.
SpaghettiOs.
So here's what I will
Is that
say.
a forfeit? Is that a strict?
So-
is that
so-
a stricken?
So
It
here's
is. Forfeit?
so I was reading in depth on this. I was reading in depth.
USA.
Netherlands needs 15 out of their 26 players to be healthy enough to suit up tomorrow to
they'll
field
have
it.
that.
So they'll probably have it, but who?
And
That's
also,
the thing.
are the ones that are able to suit up,
Play
can
the
they
position that they
run
play.
for 90 minutes?
Exactly.
Right.
So, because then you got subs, you got injuries. I mean, because soccer people are just anyway.
Oh!
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Strick. So Netherlands at USA, the money line or the odds right now, USA is an underdog at plus 340. Netherlands is the favorite at minus 110. So you have three options when we pick this game:
Germany out.
USA money line, Netherlands money line, or a draw after the 90 minutes of play.
Netherlands money line.
Money line Netherlands.
What is wrong with you guys?
Are you serious?
Are you not an American?
I'm going USA.
I am.
How dare
He,
you?
he wants his record. He wants his record up.
Oh, that's right. They play USA.
They play USA.
How
That's the only-
dare
that's-
you?
That's the only reason we're picking
USA.
it.
I was
Okay,
about
thank
to
you.
say.
My goodness.
All right, go ahead.
This is the one time you were okay betting with your heart entirely. USA.
All right, now go
Okay.
ahead.
Absolutely.
Netherlands.
USA.
Go ahead.
Oh, Rico. He's trying to improve his record, isn't he?
No, I love the orange. They spell it with a J. Don't ask
Okay.
why.
Okay.
Really?
perfect.
They do.
All right, moving on to football.
We got to go
here.
quick.
Yeah, moving on to football here quickly. We got North Texas. We'll cancel this one. Cancel this game. Pac-12 championship game tonight. Number 11 Utah at number 4 USC.
Utah, they beat them once. They'll do it again.
Okay.
USC.
USC. Okay.
Come on, we got to go quick.
Utah.
All right, cool. I'm taking USC as well. Tomorrow, 11 a.m. ABC. Number 10 Kansas State at number 3 TCU.
No.
Okay, so number 10 Kansas State at number 3 TCU. TCU is a 2.5 point favorite, according to ESPN.
TCU.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Kansas State.
All right. Then last but not least, we're gonna go quick here so we can get out of here. Last but not least, Purdue and Michigan. Michigan a 16-point favorite.
16?
16.
Ah.
With Blake Corum.
Wait.
Blake Corum is out.
Nah, give me Wolverines.
Michigan still.
Okay. So I'm taking Purdue actually in that one.
I'm definitely taking Purdue. I love the large spreads.
Okay, there you go.
Love the large spreads.
There's our pick. We got about a minute left. All right, guys. So final thoughts on this one. I don't know if you guys saw this. College football news. Brett McMurphy reported a couple days ago that if the Ohio State Buckeyes finish the year at number 5 in the country, a Rose Bowl will take Penn State instead of Ohio State. Now, the Rose Bowl, according to Jerry Palm of CBS Sports, says that if Purdue wins the Big Ten title game tomorrow, they will not take the Purdue Boilermakers in the Rose Bowl.
That's dumb.
How about
that? The Rose Bowl makes me
it's
upset.
becoming picky and choosy.
I hate the Rose Bowl.
Yeah, I don't like the Rose Bowl.
I hate the Rose Bowl. They're dumb.
Yeah. So
They've been
there's
a
just
lot
something
of
crazy about
hindrance
that.
as to why there's a delay.
Yeah, and so the last Big Ten champion to be available for the Rose Bowl but not play in it was the 1945 Indiana Hoosiers.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's crazy. That's crazy. We're done for today. Stick around on the block. Strick and Nate's coming up next. See ya.
Adios.
Are you looking for some holiday fun right in the heart of downtown